There we go. I got that.
So the recording is on.
Okay, I got it.
That's perfect. So here we are at my first podcast with I'm so honored that you wanted to be my very, very first guest in starting my podcast. And actually this came up very naturally when I saw you for the first time in Utrecht a couple of months ago in the Netherlands. You were doing the boot camp and it just popped in my mind. I would love to do a podcast with Robyn. Why don't ask her?
Ah,
And you responded so open and so willing. So for the viewers who don't know, world's actually great act trainer and therapist, psychologist. Excuse me for my English. My head is racing now, but it's
it's
just the
perfectly
beginning.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Robyn Walser, over 20, 25 years of experience, specialized in trauma, healing trauma, as I'm right, written multiple books, and I have my favorite with me.
Yeah,
It's
the
my
heart of
favorite.
acting. Yeah.
And in the past, I did some courses with you online and was happy to be there in webinars as well. And well, in September, you came for the first time, I think, to the Netherlands. Was that correct?
I've been before, but my first time in Utrecht.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, with the Egg Bootcamp. And we had there a chat for a couple of minutes, and we came up together with a beautiful topic for this podcast. To be with me is to be with you together.
It is beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, and then with the subtitle, Multi-Level Awareness in the Room Opens the Heart. So this is, of course, the we would like to reach, we would love to reach in every session with clients. Maybe we can take our viewers step by step to develop this process because I just put today on my desk, it's Christmas time nearly everywhere
Ah,
in the
yeah.
world.
Uh-huh.
And that's always a time of connecting, but also a time of loneliness.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe we can have a chat about this topic in combination of the to be with you is to be with me together, and how do we do this in session?
I, well, first, it's probably worth mentioning, and many people will know this already, but that the World Health Organization has essentially declared that loneliness is almost a pandemic right now, right? There's loneliness is being experienced all over the world, and finding ways to decrease that sense of loneliness through connection and belonging, I think is really important. And
Yeah,
moves, of course, beyond the therapy room. But in the therapy room, I think it becomes even more essential to help the person sitting across from you live lives that feel connected, and to, sit with the spaces where they um, are struggling with that connection from based on internal barriers like fears or anxiety, or either about what's going on inside or outside, but finding ways that are meaningful to connect, I think, is part of that. And doing that in session, I think, is even more important. So you can model and generalize beyond the therapy room.
yeah. And I think I love the word modeling it because when you're telling this, it sounds to me that is very important for the therapist or the psychologist that we slow down in session because when clinicians come to me for supervision, they sometimes ask, "Oh, Elizabeth, I don't know which intervention I have to do here," and actually, it's just open your ears, your eyes, your heart, and just slow down. I would say make space, make room for the difficult feelings and sensations the person has. Also, of course, outside the therapy room.
Well, and it promotes togetherness in this sense, is that whatever you feel, whatever you're sensing, whatever thoughts you might be carrying, like we can both sit with those, and you don't have to sit in fear of being rejected here. Like we can carry those. Now it's different from behavior, right? We want people to engage us in behavior that are values consistent and are
Okay.
healthy for them. But no matter what you bring into the room, if I'm a willing individual and I can be present to what you're experiencing, that is a way to connect. It says you're welcome here.
Yeah.
And it says, even your deepest pains can be shared and we can find a way to carry those together. And I think that's one way to help people
Yeah.
begin to, you know, decrease that sense of loneliness in this sense. It's like, it's not that the feeling of loneliness is going to go away. It may come and go, it may rise and fall, but that you can do things wherein you don't have to be alone
Yeah.
and
When it's
suffer. Yeah.
shared, when it's shared. Yeah. Yeah. And what would you recommend for practitioners if they are in session with a client or also maybe outside connecting, trying to connect with people, and they have hard time of feeling this kind of presence in the room, like they're too much occupied with their own stuff, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we all kind of live in our heads, right? And we wander around.
I started like this a couple of minutes ago. I'm fine
Yeah,
now. I'm fine now.
yeah. No, we just said, we're in this space so much.
Exactly.
And when we're in that space, we're not aware, we're not very conscious of what's going on around or between us. And that's that kind of multi-level process that you're talking about, right? Is like, can I be aware of myself? Can I be aware of you? Can I just see what is rather than what my head is making of everything? And heads make everything or can make everything fearful and hard, especially depending on your learning history and the messages you've received about the dangers of the world or judgments or whether or not you'll be accepted or worthy, and on it goes. And
Exactly. Yeah.
just being in with what is, like, this is what is. And it doesn't have to be threatening and scary. And, the human being sitting across from you, it just what is for them as well. And sometimes we forget in our own fear of people that they are afraid of us as well in some ways. Like, will you accept me? Will
It
I
goes
be?
both goes
It
both.
goes both ways. And we forget that. It's like, I'm afraid of them, but we forget that they're afraid of
Maybe
us.
we are frightened. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
We've got, I don't know you. Can I trust you? Are you going to accept me? Are you going to let me belong?
And you don't know that for sure. You never know it really.
Yeah, you don't.
Until you meet, I always say if there's an argument or you think different than the person you talk to, then you come on a kind of crossroad, and in this crossroad you either go together the same route, or you take a different route. It's always deepening, or maybe the conversation or the contact is not deepening because it's not possible. That's also what is actually.
Yeah,
Then people want to change things because I'm gonna work harder for this relation. I know there's not much more in it, but I'm gonna work harder. But then the person is not able to be with what is actually.
yeah. We are very good at putting conceptualized futures out in front of us and then pursuing those. And there's many ways in which that's healthy for us and good for us. I mean, you
Sure.
know, we need to do that, but there's also a fair number of ways in which we do that where we're hoping for something that doesn't happen. And then we wonder why we're disappointed, or how could it be that I got disappointed again? And you're exactly right that that means that you're not with what is. And I don't know any relationship in the world where disappointment won't be part of it.
Yeah.
It's just a part of the way it works. Like,
Yeah.
even if I showed up here 5 minutes late or something like that, you'd be like, oh, like, right,
Yeah.
there might be a little tiny disappointment in that. And it's just part of our process, and being more willing to be inside of that and not run so quickly, I think can be part of making those connections.
So it's only sorry. So it's also recognizing the belongings we have, and we put the mental pictures inside our head of the future, what you just mentioned, and actually just be aware of those concepts we long for in the future that gives us maybe sometimes a miserable feeling. So to to be able to sit with this and to acknowledge that the feeling is there, it also contains, of course, a value. Like there's lacking something in the value you what's important for you.
Yes. I think about the messages that we get. Let's just think about, connection and being inside of relationship. Like
Yeah,
a lot of what happens there comes out of misshaped ideas about what those look like. I mean, here in the US, and maybe this is true for you as well, is that, we have the Cinderella story, we have the
yeah,
happily ever after story, we have the you will fall in love and it'll be forever story.
yeah,
And so you have these ideas about how connection is going to emerge. And if you're pursuing that, you're setting yourself up for loneliness, disconnection, disappointment, because you're not in values and you're not in the present moment. You're in a story, and we don't often um, connect to how that story can impact us. And this is
yeah,
part of the work we're doing in therapy, right? Is seeing the story,
yeah,
is sitting with the experience of seeing the story. Like, oh, it's not going to be that way. There's can be disappointment in that.
yeah,
But then, okay, how do you want to do it if it's not going to be about pursuing something that's an illusion?
yeah. And then you're able to reshape actually the here and now by what values, how do I want, how do I want to live my day today? What's important for me today? And how do I show this to myself? How do I show this to others? How I will behave in according to my values today?
Today, exactly. Like
Uh,
next, right?
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
of course we have hopes. I have too. But that's important to make a distinction between hopes and living inside hope every day, because yeah, I think that's what I see with a lot of clients.
yeah.
The
I mean,
story, yeah,
almost all of us, right, have hopes about what could be or what will be, and
or should have been, yeah,
or the opposite of that, hopelessness about what will be or could be. They're just two sides of the same coin, right? They're more about the loss of a constructed future or the idealizing a constructed future. And neither of those places are here and now. And here and now is where connection happens, including in the therapy room.
yeah,
Right? It's in this space that we make room for what's happening in this moment. And what emerges inside of that is a togetherness, right? Like we're here together in this moment, seeing what is. And then I like to call it hold and move, like you're holding what is and
yeah.
you're moving in the direction of your values as a process, as an ongoing process. But even values, I'll invite people to hold a little bit lightly, pursue, but hold lightly, because if you can get so attached to them as well
The values, yeah,
that they become rules. And once they become a rule, you lose your freedom around them. They don't feel like things that you can engage in anymore as a choice, but they start to feel like things that
you
you
have
must.
to, yeah, you have to do this, yeah. So
Yeah,
hold them lightly
yeah,
and wholehearted lightly, I would say.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That way you have the freedom to be flexible and to move. And so the work that we're doing in the therapy room is like, let's get some flexibility in here so that you can vary your behavior in ways that are going to help you move towards the things that you care about. And if it's connection and togetherness, then not how does somebody else make me belong? It's what do I need to do
Yeah.
to engage in belonging behavior?
Yes, beautifully said. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And I really like the word freedom in this. Um, of course, flexibility, psychological flexibility, of course, and freedom as well, because when you don't feel free, there's something inside you that tells you or urges you something to do. So I think looking inside yourself, like where is it that I'm not feeling free? I think this is a really, in loneliness, there is also, I think, not really freedom. I don't know exactly how to put it. Um, Maybe it's like trapped in the Cinderella story.
I think it is that. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, we're social critters, right? Like we generally need each other. Of course, we have, hermits and stuff like that, but we're
yeah,
we're pretty social critters,
yeah,
and we all have I think of it on a continuum. We all have our levels of sociality where we like to be out and with people and connecting and engaged and have a partner. And then others like it some and pull back and then go in and pull back. And then some that like a little bit more, you know, by
exactly.
themselves and then they go out, right?
Outgoing. Yeah.
Yeah. There's all kinds of levels and all kinds of ways. And where people get stuck is that they lose the freedom and flexibility to see the options and the possibilities and all the different ways that you might find that you can connect.
But
I
I
think,
just saw you, oh, sorry, you perfectly express a flow. You did it.
yeah,
That's what I saw. That's what I really like.
yeah,
I think, and I think that's life is. It's kind of flow.
the flow. And we lose the flow when we get stuck. Like if I must not be lonely, if that becomes a rule,
Yeah.
loneliness is something to avoid. So then you might be engaging in behaviors that feel more desperate or clingy or seeking or escaping. Like I'm feeling alone, so I'm going to drink, I'm going to hide, drink alcohol or something, for instance.
Yeah.
And you start engaging in behaviors to escape that space. Now, I don't want people to be alone if they don't want to be alone, but let's not engage behaviors that are going to make it more likely that you're going to be alone.
Exactly.
Right. So what are the things that you need to do that are going to help you move forward in connecting and belonging ways? And I understand that some people are in contextual situations where it makes it a little harder and you
Yes.
have to be a little bit more creative and, think about how it is that you're going to reach out and connect. Let me comment.
Sorry. Yeah. Tell me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Let me comment on one other thing here that I think is important.
Yeah.
That social media has been considered a way to connect. And in some ways, I think that's true. Like there are ways that you can reach out to people who you haven't interacted with in a long time. We can do what it is that we're doing right
Lovely.
now.
Otherwise, I had to flew to America.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I also think we've over relied on it. And it's part of what's creating the isolation epidemic is that people are here instead of here or going out and connecting with each other in other ways. So and too much of anything can be too much of anything. And I think that social media has sort of moved us away from connecting in ways that feel more tangible,
Yeah.
right? Like there's a flesh and blood human being sitting here with me. And we're engaging in a tangible way that's not just about liking or sending you a text or something like that. There's
That's
ways to connect, but I think it's not enough.
exactly. I really love the connecting in a 3D mode. So I had to work the day I came to Utrecht, and at the end of the day, I met you, and I met some lovely colleagues as well. And I just said, I needed a hug. I needed to hug some colleagues I really like, and to hug you as well, of course. And that's so different than, of course, I feel the connection here as well, but only working online and only being in your telephone makes it really, uh, it's not enough. We need more as social beings. Yeah.
And if you think about other social critters on the planet, like, dogs are very social
Yeah.
animals, and elephants are very social animals, like other critters that are quite social, like they're pretty connected in ways that are about, touching each other, leaning against each other, sleeping on top of
Monkeys
each other.
with a hair.
With it, yeah, yeah, like grooming each
Yeah,
other.
grooming. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. And so the social media can pull us away from all of that. And if you go down to like the earliest parts of our life where we're being held by our mothers and fathers, the key thing that I would say there is we're being held,
Yeah.
right? And that kind of holding and hugging, as you said, is I think an important part of our human world. And sometimes we rely too much on technology and does not provide that.
Oh. And what I see in my practice that a lot of clients seek connection. I have at the moment a depressed woman in and end of 60, like 60, 68, and she thinks that nothing is possible, like big or nothing. Nothing is possible. I'm lacking contact. And in the conversations we had, she found out, oh, I can also make a little conversation at in the shop when I buy something. So that these micro moments during the day, those connecting moments, and I see it's going slowly, slowly better with her because sometimes it's difficult to have good friends all at once because this takes time. But to make the big thing she wants or more people want, to make it in little steps. Just go step by step. What can I do today? If my value is connecting, what do I do today? Oh, I have to buy some groceries. Let's make a little talk, a small talk with the people behind the counter. Or
Yeah.
there's so
And this
much,
is
and there's so much possible. I really like
there's
this.
there's so much fun. This is funny. I'm being a bit I guess ironic here because I saw this on social media, which makes me laugh a little bit. But
Oh,
I
tell me.
saw this given what I just said, but I saw this oh, yeah, I can't think of the name of it, but it's a gentleman who walks through the streets and just basically compliments people as they pass by. Like, that's a lovely hat you're wearing today, or I really like your stride, it's very vigorous. And so he's just like complimenting people, and people are just like, ah, thank you. And they're getting these reactions that are, sometimes surprised, but also quite welcoming. And some stop and interact with them for a little while. And so there's lots of creative ways that we can do that. And like you're saying, talk to somebody in the grocery store.
Yeah.
You can do that in the therapy room too. Like, let's do it here. Let's, hang for a moment here and
Yeah.
allow things to be. And you don't have to perform. You don't have to, you know, be the best or the Gucci bag, right? Or whatever that people feel like they have to be in order to be acceptable. No, just be yourself.
So the first thing that popped in my mind when I saw you on screen now is, oh, I love the color of your shirt. So let's give
Ah,
a compliment to you. I love the color
thank
of your shirt.
yeah, no, thank you. I think it's a very vibrant, fun color.
Yeah,
And yeah,
yeah, yeah,
so thank you. I love it too. Yeah.
yeah. We
And now we've got another little, just a tiny little connection around it, right? And there's other ways to do it too. It doesn't have to be about compliments. It's just one example.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a guy in the Netherlands, I think his name is Marijn, and in when he travels in the Netherlands by bus or by tram, he just asks people, "How are you doing today?" Just
Yeah.
total strangers, and he starts conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah, and makes a difference. So I think that nearly makes the cycle of to be with me is to be with you together.
Yeah.
And with the little Christmas tree here on my desk and wishing everybody well. And how do we keep ourselves well? And I think it's lovely. We have this conversation in the beginning of December with all the wishes for the new year. Um, and
They serve a function, right? They
yeah,
and one thing it says is I'm interested in you. I'm
yeah,
wishing you well.
yeah,
And there's some research that even shows that when you're gifting, that you actually benefit. So it's
yeah,
not just that the person who receives benefits, you benefit too. And so you benefit more than when you're being selfish by far.
yeah.
And so there, I know we're just giving an example of how to do connection in this very lonely world, but that is such a beautiful way. It's just, how are you? How are you? And just show some a little bit of interest in somebody. Now, not everybody's going to be receptive. You have to be prepared for that. Like some people,
Exactly.
some you might say, "How are you today?" and they might say, "Piss off" or something like that.
That's
But
okay too.
that's okay too. It's just like,
Then this is what
I
it is at that moment. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And but that doesn't have to punish you or stop you from doing it again. And
yeah,
that's where you're sitting with the feeling and overriding the desire to run when something like that happens. That's the thing you can also practice in therapy.
yeah. And what I really love is to develop curious eyes, just to be curious,
Yeah. Curiosity is a
open.
very open and oh, that's curious that that person said that to me. Maybe they're really having a rough go.
Yeah,
I don't have to shut myself down because they said something like that.
exactly.
Yeah, and that's where people, that's kind of what happens, right? Is people offer themselves in a way, and then if somebody doesn't respond the way they want, then they're like, I'm not doing that again. And then
So
what you're doing is stepping away from your own process.
exactly. And that's then the black and white, like it's all or nothing. So if
Mm,
I open up, somebody else has to respond perfectly. Otherwise, I back off. But then then you're missing the flow.
yeah,
Then it's like, oh, I do it when it's going 100%, or I'm not doing it at all.
right, right. That's that idealized version of how it should look,
Then we are back actually to the illusion.
to the illusion. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, the value is there for you to live and not necessarily for somebody else to live. They may not join you in that process, but
I
that's
I,
okay.
I have lately the thought in the morning when I wake up, this is my day. It's given to me. I'm thankful that there's a new day,
Mhm.
and it's up to me how I live this day. It doesn't say I have to live it perfectly. No, I want to live it. I want to experience it. I want to see what my heart is calling for this day, um, as conscious I can be at that day. But this really deepens my day. Like this is my day. So if somebody is not nice to me, in the afternoon, I was to the supermarket and the cashier was, I don't know, having a mood or something.
Mhm.
And I felt it a bit, and I thought, okay, if it triggers me, then it's up to me to deal with it instead of projecting it on the person. Um, and again, everything what comes on my plate, it's for me to discover or to handle it the best way I can. It's my day, and I'm thankful for this day. I think, yeah, that's really helpful for me to have this stance in life, I think. Yeah,
Part of what we're doing here, I think, in what you're sharing, and it's my day, is like taking responsibility.
I was looking for that word. Thank you so much, Robin.
Like, I'm going to take responsibility.
Yeah.
Now, none of us are perfect at it,
Oh, no.
and that's why that consciousness that you were talking about becomes so important. So you can be aware of how you're engaging in your day, and you're going to be with it, then lose it, be with it, then lose it. But the
exactly.
practice is to
Yeah,
keep returning to how am I engaging my day? And what we want to do for our clients, of course, is build that in, like, when we're talking about committed actions and values inside of acceptance and commitment therapy, right? The work
yeah,
that we do tracked at the ACT boot camp
yeah,
is building larger and larger patterns of behavior, but there's no end to that, right? It is a practice. It's not an arrival. And that sometimes is a little bit hard for people to take in. Like, oh, you mean like once I start doing this, things aren't going to be just fine? It's like, no, like things will be about you creating your meaning, but we don't know how they're going to turn out all the time. So you have to keep coming back to the practice.
yeah. Yeah, in every teaching I give here in the Netherlands, I almost always end with a wonderful phrase you say, you're done when you're done.
You're done when you're done.
And
Yeah.
I always say, Robyn Walser's mantra is, you're done when you're done. You never have act or understand life, then something new comes up. You're done when you're done. So it's a life's practice.
It's a lifelong practice. Yeah. There's only one arrival, as I say, right? Just one. And
Exactly.
it's the end of that's the end. And so might as well live your days in ways that feel I'm going to take responsibility for my life again and again. Now, I want to be extra careful here because I know people are in situations and contexts that are really challenging and hard.
Yeah,
How do you always like come to meeting those with your values and what matters to you? That it is not an easy thing. So I'm not suggesting that people don't have real pain or real situations that create roadblocks and difficulties and challenges and sometimes really awful experiences. Then I think of, and I might have mentioned this at ACT Boot Camp in Utrecht, is that I then think of things like Viktor Frankl in the
yes,
concentration camp, and every day rising to this place of I'm going to make this meaningful, even if I can't live in the way that I would want and it's such terrible conditions and stuff like that. I'm going to stay inside of meaning versus inside of happiness and conceptualizations and must-haves and stuff like that. And so if we're gonna, like, that responsibility is about meaning making, it's not about feeling good. And so I think that's an important distinction in recognizing the real pain that people find themselves inside.
yeah. And then in real pain, the steps are getting smaller.
Yeah, sometimes it's little tiny things.
Yeah,
It reminds me of a story that I once heard from a client that I worked with, where we were exploring meaning and little tiny things that can be done,
yeah,
and but that can carry huge meaning. And he was a prisoner of war during World War II, and he shared with me that he and three of his fellow soldiers had been captured, and they were basically being starved. They were given very little food, and all of them had lost like 30% of their body weight, and they were thin already. So,
yeah,
they're skeletal, basically.
yeah,
And on his birthday, uh, two of his friends that were in that same constant or war prisoner of war camp
yeah.
uh, gave up their gave him a cracker. One gave a cracker and the other gave jelly, so they gave him a cracker with jelly on it. It's this one tiny little gesture that meant everything, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're starving and you hand a cracker and a jelly to somebody standing next to you, yeah,
That
it's
means a lot.
big. Yeah, it's a very, like, things are possible. And so those are the kinds of, when I hear those kinds of stories, I'm like, yeah, even little gestures can carry big weight and big importance.
Yeah. Instead of wanting the big story at once,
Yeah.
just building it by those little, well, actually, it's a huge gesture. Uh, but maybe for an outsider, a little gesture, it's a huge gesture. It contains so much love and caring and, well, yeah, all those things. Yeah.
For him, he said it was one of the most memorable experiences he'd ever had. Like he'd been shot at, he'd been captured, he'd been under bombings, he'd had all kinds of things during the war.
Terrible. Yeah.
One of the most important moments for him was getting this cracker with jelly on.
Really on it.
Yeah.
I can imagine somehow. Well, not really imagine, but yeah. Yeah.
So if that can happen, then there's lots of ways. There's lots of ways that we can engage with others. And I think it's only limited by our own creativity, right? And like
Yeah.
curiosity, our curiosity.
Yeah. So if we come back to the to be with me is to be with you together, um, in little steps. People find it difficult to connect with patients, sorry, clients find it difficult to connect with themselves because that's a lot of times the problem. They have hard times connecting with themselves. So little steps. And I think also what I take from this podcast with you is the responsibility. The more responsibility you take for your own feelings and sensations, bodily sensations, whether it's anger or anxiousness or whatever you're feeling, or loneliness, um, try a way to, I think, go slowly, step by step. What I would say in this. Um,
I like to think of it, and Steve Hayes, of course, the developer of ACT, is the first
yeah,
person who ever said this to me, is that you are responsible. So responsible
yeah,
is you
yeah.
are able to respond. If you're aware, if you step inside of your own awareness, you're able to respond. And in that process of togetherness, if we step inside of awareness and invite our clients to be aware too, we're able to respond to each other in meaningful ways. And that creates a togetherness and models something that they can do outside of the therapy room.
And that's heartwarming.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, another heartwarming thing is if you hear this on your recording, you can let people know that my French
Sorry,
bulldog is snoring in the
I
background.
hear it.
You can, yeah, yeah. So hopefully nobody minds, but she's laying here next to me and she's snoring away.
I just heard her. Yeah.
Did you? Yeah, yeah. Maybe that'll just add a little color to the podcast and
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
then it's good.
And
Okay.
that's another way, a really good way to connect too, is through animals. So,
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
we're not separate from them. We're animals too. And that's another good way to connect.
exactly. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're always happy when you come home.
Oh man. It's a
You
real
have
joy.
two, you have two, I think,
I
or you have one? Oh,
I
two.
have
Yeah.
two. I
Yeah.
have
I
two
had
little
two
friends.
dogs, but now they don't live anymore. They were so old, so but I really cherish them in my heart. I
Ah,
had
yeah,
wonderful dogs. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll just so you can, before we wrap up today,
Yeah, I recognize them.
let me see if I can get there.
Yeah.
There's the two of them right there.
Oh,
It's the tan one that's doing the snoring.
great. Oh.
She's the one.
And they're always with you in the room, but
If
not with.
I'm home, yeah, if I'm home, I'm never alone. I'm never alone.
Great.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you very much as we come to an end of this podcast. We just explored some togetherness together. And I think that's a wonderful start for the month of December, the month of light. It's turning more dark outside, and we get the light inside our house more. And I really hope for everyone, for you, for me as well, to um, to feel and to get in, to feel and to be connected with the light within yourself. Actually, that's what I would say for the new year.
And I would wish that folks could come together more as well. That's what's going to help our world is for us to see each other and what is instead of trying to make something else of it.
I think it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful way to end this podcast. Thank you so much, Robyn.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.